So my parents used to do a lot of sport when they were younger, and my dad did wrestling, and my mom did track and field. So early on, I was doing a lot of sports already, and ultimately also got to track and field because my mom used to do it. I've done sports my whole life, so there's never been like a question of like, oh, what would it be like not to practice like almost every day? Like even when I was younger, yeah, it was much more playful than now. But I was probably practicing like every day still, and even if it was just playing some soccer with some friends, you know. But so there was never really the question that wasn't that anything else than that would be a choice. But then obviously with school and being a sports school, it was good that the teachers and the school kind of accommodated the practice schedule too, because there were some like morning sessions where you would have class in the morning from like 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. and then you would have some time to practice, and then you would have school again, and then eventually practice again after school. So that was really good and just helped me improve in the sport. But also, I started doing that in like 5th grade. So I learned early on how to deal with academics and sports at the same time. So I then started working with a company that helps people to get recruited. They're from Germany, so they help people to go to the US to do or to get a scholarship as a student athlete. So once that process started, I just kind of looked at all the schools and all the choices I had, and Nebraska was just the best fit for me because it had a really good architecture school and really good track program. Because there are a lot of other schools like Arizona was one of my favorites too. They had a really good track program at the moment, but architecture school wasn't as good. And then, for example, I think Duke University had a really good architecture program, or like really good academics in general, but the track program wasn't as good. So just also knowing that Nebraska had a lot of academic All-Americans that showed me that they pay attention to both sides, academics and sports. Well, a typical day right now is practice in the morning, usually around 9-ish, and then practice until around 12:15, and then I have class from like 1 to 5, and when I have a studio, that's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then on Tuesday and Thursday the schedule's a little different, where I have practice in the morning for like 2 hours from 9 to 11, and then I have class for 2 classes, and then I come back at around 2 p.m. for another 2-hour session of practice, and then another lift after. So it's all about how the school schedule is, because especially with architecture, there's not a lot of flexibility in the schedule. They have that class you have to take in this semester at that certain time. It's not like you can take it next semester or the semester before. So it's kind of how we can work best around that school schedule. Yeah, I think my freshman year, I adjusted really well, but I hadn't had like a huge PR. I improved in a lot of events, but then in my sophomore year, when I changed coach to Dusty Jonas, he really helped me to improve, especially in the lifting and like getting more explosive, which then helps you in pretty much all of the events in the multi. So then that year I made a huge jump in both the heptathlon and decathlon, and ultimately then broke the school record in both events, indoor and outdoor. So yeah, that obviously means a lot, being also the first one to score over 6,000 points in heptathlon and over 8,000 points in a decathlon here, because the history is so rich. And if you just look out on the track, on the banners, there are people here that have been in the Olympics in 1980 or whatever, so like a long time ago, a long time before there was even a thought of me. And then being the best in that history obviously means a lot. At the beginning of the season, the outdoor season, we said we wanted to keep the season pretty chill and try to just practice more and develop and get better. And then I did pretty much my peak multi. So like peak meaning that was supposed to be my best meet, where you try to taper off before and try to really perform at that day. I did that multi in Germany, and at a pretty big meet internationally, so with a lot of other international people, and I came in ranked as like 15th place and ended up winning the whole meet, which gave me a lot of extra points also in the world rankings, and ultimately then set me up to qualify for the Olympics. But after that, it was still not clear that I was going to be qualified, because Germany and the USA are like both the best nations in the world for the decathlon. So Germany and the US were both the only nations to have 4 people being qualified, which only 3 people can go. So that was under discussion, and then they chose to take another person over me, even though I had a better score this year. There's a lot of factors, and it's a long explanation, but that's just all about the world ranking points, and also the politics in Germany about the sport. So they ultimately decided to take that other person, and I was like, okay, I guess I can't do anything against it. So I actually went on vacation, and then I was still qualified as alternative, and on the Tuesday before the meet was on Friday, and on the Tuesday before, so like 3 days before, they told me that other person had COVID and couldn't compete. So then I was kind of a little bit speechless after I was just on vacation for a couple days in Prague. Getting there actually, and realizing that I'm now going to be able to compete there was obviously huge emotionally for me and my family and friends. I think before I didn't really know what to expect, and I guess I never really thought about it. But afterwards, I think about it a lot. That why do you actually want to go there? And it's because before I felt like if I would have been asked that question before, it was because it's the Olympics, it's the pinnacle of sport. But afterwards now, I realized that it's more about that whole experience, and meaning, you want to compete and want to compete against the best in the world, but also about all the friendship and the connections you make with other countries, and living in the Olympic Village with all these different countries and people, and experiencing different cultures and communities. That's really the Olympic spirit, and I really felt that at the Olympics, which I didn't really think about before. It was more about competing there, and now afterwards it's about all of it around too. I guess there were quite some challenges just because of the fact that they told me on a Tuesday around noon, and I had to get ready and get there afterwards and be ready on a Friday by like 10 a.m. So it was really quick turnaround, and obviously as a decathlete you're not just having one pair of spikes like a long jumper, and at the long jumper you can pack your backpack and have your spikes in there, and that's about it. All you really need as a decathlete, you need poles, you need jabs, you need discs, you need all those different kind of spikes. So it's a lot of equipment, and also some logistics in that, how to bring that from Germany to Paris. And so with that quick turnaround, my family really helped out, and that they drove all the heavy and big equipment with an RV to Paris. So it's all about keeping your energy throughout those 2 days and preserving as much energy as you can, because you need every single bit of it, because it just takes everything out of your body. And that's why you also, after the decathlon, you take a break for a week or two and keep it really light in practice, so you can recover from such a big strain on your body, not just physically but also mentally. It's a lot of ups and downs, and you have to control your energy and emotions. That has been my life since then, pretty much balancing both. So I'm really kind of perfected at the time management and how I can get stuff done in the right time, and also like while I recover, maybe try to do some homework also in the bed, not trying to like use too much energy doing homework, right? So you're trying to balance all those things, and over the years you just have a routine for that and just keep improving it. And yeah, I think there's still a lot of goals I have, especially academically and athletically. I mean, I'm studying architecture, and I know that I can't be doing track and field until I'm 60, so I'm trying to set myself up for a successful career after sports too, and I'm really passionate about design and architecture, so I hope after my track and field career I can have a career in that too, and maybe have an interview or a newsletter article about me being an architect and not an athlete. So that's definitely one big goal for me. But then the Olympics was just my first really big international competition. I never had done a European Championship or World Championship before, so there are a lot of competitions I haven't done yet and haven't medaled yet in those international competitions. So there's a lot more I think I can achieve in track, and also a lot more in me for improving myself in the next years and really stepping up in that top 5, top 10 field of the world. And yeah, to be an Olympian, I think it means for me being part of a special group of people, and just that special group of people has dedicated a huge part of their life to achieve something like that, because to become an Olympian, there's no way that somebody trains for half a year or a year and becomes an Olympian. That's something where you have to dedicate a long period of your life towards. So just being able to call myself an Olympian, I'm proud of that I can stand next to other Olympians in the past, and yeah.